The ongoing parliamentary elections in Bangladesh. The much anticipated general polls in Bangladesh is underway even as the world watches with bated breath. Bangladesh is voting today almost close to 2 years after the exit of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. The vote is being held simultaneously with a referendum on an ambitious 84-point reform package introduced by interim government chief Mohammad Yunus.
আজকে নতুন বাংলাদেশের জন্মদিন কাজে আমরা অতীতকে ফেলে দুঃস্বপ্নকে ফেলে এখন নতুন স্বপ্ন চলে গেলাম আজকেই সেই দিন সারা জাতির জন্য আজকে মুক্তির দিন সেটা আমরা উৎসব পালন করতে
স্যার ভোট কেমন দেখছেন স্যার আজকে ভোটের পরিস্থিতি কেমন দেখছেন স্যার
এটা ঈদের মতো মহা ঈদ এটা মহা ঈদের মতো
সুন্দর সুষ্ঠু হচ্ছে কিনা
খুবই সুন্দর এ পর্যন্ত Fantastic. We have a big future coming up. We are just creating new Bangladesh. Bangladesh 2.0.
But the critical test of the country's democracy took a hit as BNP party leader Mohibuzzaman Kochi was killed in an attack by Jamaat leaders and activists in the Khulna constituency. This is the first casualty of this election. At least 23 BNP and Jamaat-e-Islami supporters were injured in clashes over alleged obstruction of voters in Mujibnagar's Joypur and Gangni Upazila's Saharbati. Now, meanwhile, open rigging was caught on camera after 4 to 5 people stamped ballot papers. Ballot boxes were seen filled with rigged papers under the nose of poll officials. Jamaat-e-Islami candidate Khalidus Zaman, who is running against BNP chairman Tariq Rahman, has also made poll rigging allegations. Low level of voting is being reported from Awami League strongholds of Madaripur, Shariatpur, Faridpur, Gopalganj, Bagerhat, Thakurgaon, Jamalpur and Maimansingh. The overall voter turnout stood at just about 40.9% across nearly 33,000 polling centers until 2 p.m. In many ways, this Bangladesh election is unlike the previous polls. This election is seen as a turning point as the country looks to move beyond the decades-long Battle of Begum's era. For the first time in decades, Awami League party's boat symbol is also absent from the ballot as the party has been banned from these elections. However, the Awami League is not giving up so easily or giving in. Even against their will, supporters of the Awami League are being forced to go to the polling centers. On the ballot papers, they are casting their votes by drawing their party symbol, the boat.
For me, for Bangladesh.
For you and for Bangladesh.
Yes, it is a turning point, and we are waiting for that point. Inshallah, people demand change, they desire change. We also desire the change. Alhamdulillah, it is an emerging matter for me because I have given my vote after 3 consecutive votes where I was been deprived. Not me only, all the people of Bangladesh, and that time I was in the prison. Thank you.
And now being joined by Suhas Chakma, Director, Rights and Risks Analysis Group. And we also have Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry, Editor, Blitz, Bangladesh, joining us live from Dhaka. Thank you so much for both of you gentlemen. Suhas, I will just come to you. Let me quickly speak to the man on the ground and get the latest from him. Mr. Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry, voting percentage is just about 41% as of 2 p.m. That's what we understand. Talk to us. And you know, the other tragic death of a BNP leader as well. On the ground, how are the polls in Bangladesh? Mohammad Yunus says this is a celebration. This is all about the building of Bangladesh 2.0.
Thank you very much, sir. I was in the polling station right from 7 a.m. in the morning when polling started. And I have cast my vote also. But the presence was very thin, very, very thin. And most of the roads in the city were, it was looking like a ghost city. What Yunus is jumping, he is jumping, saying that it's a grand Eid, grand celebration. He is a sweet talker, but basically he is a fraud. He has destroyed this country. And he was jumping to save his skin because he knows that from tonight his tenure will come to an end, because he is still now hoping that Jamaat will win, but Jamaat is not going to win. BNP is going to win a majority. And after BNP wins the majority, the main crisis for Yunus will begin. We have faced the crisis for the last 18 months, the people of Bangladesh. Now the Yunus, he will face the real crisis from tonight when the results start coming out. And what Yunus is saying is makes no sense. He is a liar. He has been consistently lying with the nation. He has destroyed our economy. He has destroyed everything. Even he has destroyed the younger generation. One very important thing that I would like to also humbly draw attention of my respectable co-panelist, Mr. Suhas Ahmad, that I have spoken to a lot of young voters, those who were voting for the first time. And I asked them, are you going to vote for National Citizens Party, the party of the young people? They said, no. I said, why? They said, these young leaders, they have destroyed our career, our future. We now cannot go to any country for studies. There is no job opportunity in this country. So there is a frustration among the younger generation, and particularly the women. They are scared. They want to stop Jamaat from coming to power, because they know if Jamaat comes to power, Bangladesh will become a caliphate.
Suhas Chakma, that's the fear running in the minds of so many Bangladeshis. What if the Jamaat comes to power? And that, in fact, it's in that atmosphere, it's in that context we have to look at these Bangladesh elections, isn't it?
There is strong possibility that the Jamaat will perform quite well, even though BNP might win. Ultimately, I think it's a fixed election. If you do not have one of the main parties, the Awami League, then obviously this election has no, you could say, despite the presence of so many observers, I don't think it is credible. It is just lengthening or prolonging the civil war or denial of democracy in Bangladesh. Because if you keep the Awami League, you are not going to have inclusive elections. And without that inclusivity, the question is how long this will continue. So the contest between the BNP and Awami League, where people are being killed, these are just small personal rivalries. At the end of the day, there is tacit understanding between the Jamaat and the BNP. Of course, at the end of the day, if Jamaat wins more seats, they will claim the prime ministership. And if BNP wins more seats, then they will claim the prime ministership. So they are not opposition to each other. You know, they are partners. So they have always been part of the same alliance. So if you did not agree with the election which was held by former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, you are actually repeating the same thing, and in a much more, discredited way, because Prime Minister Hasina did not ban the BNP. She also did not ban the Jamaat-e-Islami in the beginning. It's only they boycotted the election. That's a different thing. Here, Awami League wanted to participate in the election, and they banned Awami League. I'm quite sure, and they know it very well, if the Awami League was given a chance to contest the election, maybe they would have become, if not the winner, surely the main opposition party. And they do not want an opposition party. So how long this charade can continue? And of course, after 2 days, you will see the election observers from the European Union, Commonwealth, and everybody saying free and fair election. Now, if you do not challenge the very basis of the election, that's keeping the Awami League out of the election fray, then the rest you can always certify, because it's a friendly contest between the two parties who have always been part of the same alliance, and they shall continue to become part of it. So I think I would say that the Bangladesh is in a way heading to more anarchy, exactly what has been said by my colleague, my co-panelist, that you have to deliver. And I think Yunus is very happy that that responsibility is no longer with him. because we have to deliver for governance, economic development, everything in a turmoil situation in the world, and he knows it. So he is happy. I think he is very happy to go.
Mr. Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhary, there is already reports of ballot papers being stamped and rigged ballot papers being found. This is an election which is under the watchful eye of the world. The whole world is watching Bangladesh today to see how well these elections are conducted. But as Suhas Chakma was talking about, the world sees the charade that it is, isn't it? The fact that a party that could at least be the main opposition party, if not the ruling party again, which is the Awami League, is not contesting, has not been allowed to contest these elections. And even between the BNP and the Jamaat, which are essentially friends and allies, it looks like this time around, the intent is to ensure that Jamaat is the one that wins the election and forms the government.
First of all, the Jamaat and BNP, they are ideological brethren. Both are Islamists. Number two, as my honorable Mr. Chakma said, that during our League period also we have seen same type of election, but we are seeing something new in this time. The 500 observers are here, and more than 400, this Yunus regime provided them the air ticket, the hotel, and pocket money. So these observers, in other words, they are being hired to give a good report about this contested election. Number two is Mr. Chakma is very correct that Yunus knows that he has made a massive mess of everything, and he's happy that he is now offloading his huge burden on someone else. But in fact, whatever is the result of the election, but there will be no opposition in the parliament because, as I said, BNP and Jamaat, they are ideological brethren, and both of them have almost similar ideologies. For example, one wants caliphate rule, another wants Sharia rule. So Bangladesh is heading towards far more complex situation, but most importantly, for any government, any elected government, to bring back the law and order to normalcy, it is very difficult because all the mob violence, mob has become taken a shape of institution in this country now, mob violence. So to it takes tough action on mobs. BNP cannot, because BNP is the beneficiary of the mobs. Jamaat will not, because Jamaat is very much a part of the mobs. So if there was a party which is not a beneficiary of these mobs, only then it could be a good hope for Bangladesh. One more point I would like to add here, that today I have seen many Awami Leaguers voting. Why? Because Awami League is also lacking leadership. Sheikh Hasina is, from the 24th of January, she has gone into isolation. She is not coming to any media anywhere. Only her son is coming, and who has no connections with the people of Bangladesh. So Awami League, unfortunately, was very much required at this moment, but Awami League does not have the voice, because without Sheikh Hasina, Awami League is nothing. And Sheikh Hasina is for, I don't know why, but she is silent, and her silence is also will be pushing Bangladesh towards more difficulties in the coming days.
So, Suhas Chakma, more difficulties is what Bangladesh is looking at. Before anything else, after these elections are concluded, there needs to be a smooth transition of power. There needs to be that clear majority. There needs to be that the transition of power from an interim, unelected government to an elected government already, isn't it?
There shouldn't be any problem with transfer of power from the current interim government to the next one, because they are part of the same alliance, so you will not expect any problem. And I think people in Bangladesh are voting also. We have to bear in mind, because the Army League is not there, so a large number of people are actually forced to vote for their own protection, because at the end of the day, if you do not have the protection of the local MP, then Army League is not physically there to present them. But people who support the Army League, they have to they need the protection of the local MPs. I think we have to bear in mind, although everybody is saying that the BNP will form the government, which is most likely to form the government, but I think we have to bear in mind a couple of factors. One factor is the Jamaat-e-Islami has been working at the grassroots level for a long period of time. So their capacity has remained or has increased tremendously. So that's one factor which you have to bear in mind. Secondly, Jamaat-e-Islami, to get both the minorities and etc., they actually at a grassroots level organized meetings with the minorities and etc. Other groups. And thirdly, we have to bear in mind all the cases, or most of the cases, or 95% of the cases which are filed against the Awami League leaders at the local level for extortion or political persecution, they were actually filed by the BNP. So because they were filed by the BNP, it's very likely that the votes, the people from the Awami League who have voted, then they will go for the Jamaat-e-Islami. I think the opposition of the Jamaat-e-Islami towards Sheikh Hasina has been political one. The filing the cases before the International War Crimes Tribunal and etc., where they were involved. But at the local level in Bangladesh, where hundreds of thousands of people belonging to Awami League are being persecuted, they are being persecuted by the BNP. So the fear, I think, among the Awami League voters is that if the BNP comes to power, they will persecute more rather than the Awami League, rather than the Jamaat-e-Islami, because Jamaat-e-Islami, because under the Awami League rule, they were not so prominent. So the clash with the Jamaat-e-Islami was more at an ideological level. And I think, Jamaat realized that. So I still think, there could be a close contest between the BNP and the Jamaat-e-Islami, even though everybody is saying, it has changed. And I don't think people believe what Tariq Jia is saying. It's almost Tariq Jia reborn kind of a person. Now, if that is actually the reality, I think it's fine. But how whether it will suit Bangladesh or he will fit into the kind of politics which Bangladesh, the kind of politics Jamaat-e-Islami has carried out for so many years, it remains to be seen. I don't think people in Bangladesh believe what Tariq Jia is saying. He is too nice given his previous records and the previous records of the BNP. I think the Bangladeshis themselves are finding, people whom I am speaking to, they are completely non-political, but they're finding hard to believe that this is actually the Tariq Jia or this is the way he...
We have some breaking news that's coming in, Suhas, at this stage. The voting for Bangladesh polls have concluded. Polling has ended across 299 constituencies in Bangladesh. The Election Commission of Bangladesh has declared that the voting for this crucial parliamentary elections of Bangladesh has ended. That's the official word coming in from the Election Commission of Bangladesh, which has released the midday voter turnout figures. This is the midday voter turnout figures from the Bangladesh Election Commission, which is 47.91% until 2 p.m. That's the data that the Election Commission of Bangladesh has released, even as polling has ended across 299 constituencies. The polling for the parliamentary elections have ended. That's the official word coming in from the Election Commission of Bangladesh. We have Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry, editor Blitz of Bangladesh, still with us, joining us live from Dhaka. Quick thoughts, Salahuddin Shoaib. The Election Commission has ended polling, and it says that according to its own numbers, nearly 48% of polling till 2 p.m.
Election Commission even 2 days ago said the percentage of voting will be 70%. So they have made their mind what should be done, as I said. And these are all, no one believes what they are saying, because it's a stage drama, as I said. A script was written months ago, and now they are just showing what it is in the script. So not 70% at all, because as I said, the presence of voters were very thin, extremely thin in all the polling stations throughout the country. And in Dhaka city, I have even seen some of the polling stations, there were no people at all.
Fair enough.
So it is impossible, the
Okay.
48% or 50%. I think, in my opinion, maximum at best, the total turnout should be something around 35%.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll leave it at that. We're completely out of time over here. I'm going to thank Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry and Suhas Chakma. Thank you both of you gentlemen for taking time out to be with us here on News 9.